Welcome to the Escaping the Accountant's Trap podcast. It's a podcast to help accountants, CPAs, and bookkeepers escape what we call the accountant's trap. It's where you're stuck working with low value and high demanding clients, but at the same time, can't raise your fees because you have a lot of competition. Well, how do you escape the trap? One way is the topic of today's episode, and that's providing exceptional client. Well, how do you escape the trap? One way is the topic of today's episode, and that's by providing exceptional client experiences. To help me with the discussion, I've invited Steph Vaughan-Jones, the head of business development for Moneypenny USA, which is an award-winning call answering and managed live chat service just for accounting firms. Steph, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today. And actually, so to speak, my mission over the last 14 years with Moneypenny has been about delivering exceptional customer service and helping our clients deliver exceptional customer service as well. And watching businesses grow from strength to strength has been really proud for me to do.
Oh, I love that. So I can't wait to dive into this conversation. You know, I was on your website, the Moneypenny USA website, and then one of the first things it says is that you don't do scripts, you do relationships. I love that. But tell me why Moneypenny decided to focus on creating great customer relationships.
Gosh, it probably goes back to when we were founded, really, in the year 2000. We were founded by brother and sisters, Ed and Rachel. And Ed was running a graphic design business from home. And he employed an answering service to look after his calls. And he went away on vacation. And a call had come into the answering service, and the fax machine had actually run out of paper, and the council were trying to fax an order through. And the lady at the end of the phone said, "What do you want me to do about it? I'm just an answering service."
Oh,
And then
no.
Ed, yes. and actually, you say, "Oh, no," but actually that led then Ed and Rachel to think, well, why can't we create a service where it's personalized? Whoever's answering the phone knows, a little bit about the business. It feels really personal and professional. And that's where Moneypenny was born. And we started with one receptionist above an optician's. And Lynn King is still with us today. She actually runs our reception in the UK and greets clients coming into Moneypenny HQ over there. And to this day now, we have around 1,500 staff across our US and UK locations. So the rest is history, so to speak.
So you work with accounting firms and essentially provided them this phone answering service, but why do accountants need this?
Yeah, so the majority of our client base actually out here in the US are CPA and accounting firms. We do look after other industries as well. We actually specialize within the accountancy sector. So there's many different reasons why an accounting firm would actually use Moneypenny and actually outsource in general. And I think the industry itself is now becoming much more open to outsourcing. So why do something yourself kind of half-heartedly when there are actually experts who can do it on your behalf and they can do it brilliantly and efficiently? So whether that be payroll services or virtual reception and live chat like Moneypenny, there are so many partners now, both onshore and offshore, who can actually, help firms become more agile and efficient. And actually outsourcing can save your business money. So hiring employees comes with the inevitable overheads, training, onboarding, vacations, other time off bonuses and things. So actually outsourcing takes away the headache. So you become a partner with your outsourcing provider, actually. And then it's your outsourcing partner's responsibility to make sure that they're fully resourced to look after you. So actually, that then leads on to more things like working more efficiently and gaining more hours in the day. So actually, outsourcing tasks can help you free up your schedule. So as a business owner, you can then focus on business development, employee engagement, other new ideas that you might have written down on a post-it note and perhaps you haven't had time to execute. So, it can free up a lot of your time and help you scale as a business. So many businesses have aspirations to grow, and outsourcing can be a real asset to help you do that effectively.
Yeah.
And another big topic actually is obviously the talent shortage as well. So
Okay.
this has been and continues to be a really hot topic, especially in the accounting industry and many other industries as well. So outsourcing can actually help us adapt to that changing landscape and turbulence. And there's many other things, tech as well. So, 90% of the businesses that we work with actually wouldn't have access to the tech that we use.
Mm.
So data analytics, call trends, tracking marketing spend, the data that we provide our clients can really help their businesses grow and help them analyze in-house what resource actually they might need. So there's many, many reasons why a firm would outsource to us, and capturing new business as well. So offering that amazing service and making sure that those leads are captured every time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. That was going to be my next question. Do majority of accounting firms who use something like this, in Moneypenny or another outsourced call answering service, is it for marketing and sales purposes, or is it to field existing client questions and requests and jobs?
It is varied. Every client has different needs, but ultimately it's to greet the customer. It's to capture the new leads and ask the right questions. So when the lead comes through, it's been triaged, so to speak, and it's
Okay.
valuable. It's to assist existing customers that have a question. It's to, just have that presence and make sure that, it's going back to basics and just delivering a wonderful service to your clients, whether or not it is a new inquiry, whether it's someone you've worked with for 20 years, whether it's, I say, like a supplier calling up. So we pride ourselves at Moneypenny on having great relationships with our suppliers as well, and paying them on time and being responsive to inquiries. So all of these things matter. We might have a client approach us, or we might approach them, and we'll just say to them, what is the reason that you feel that you need us, or what's been the catalyst to make you contact us? And it could be that they want to make sure that they're growing X amount this year and they want X amount of new inquiries. So they might put their new inquiry line to us. Others have moved to hybrid working. So they want their main telephone number to be answered promptly and professionally. So in that case, it's a business continuity need. So it can really vary from firm to firm.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost like a virtual first impressions desk, like a virtual receptionist at the front of an office, but it's virtually. Because like you said, a lot of, especially since COVID, a lot of things happen online or via Zoom, virtually.
Yeah, yeah. And a great impression is created by connecting with your customer on a really personal level and showing empathy towards their needs and making them
Mm.
feel valued and understood. So actually, whether or not somebody tried to call you, or they filled in a form on your website, or they've gone to your live chat, or even your social media, for example, it's just having that lovely human interaction. Or actually, if you do want technology, we can put the tech there. Technology serves its purpose in some instances, but it's having a human behind it that can answer those questions for empathy, and if it's an urgent inquiry or something like that.
Mm.
There are many industries that are outsourcing now, as I mentioned before, that are kind of much, I think we're becoming just much more open to it. And again, it's having expertise and knowing who you can call upon to do a great job for you. I think firms as well that are experts in certain industries, such as, we work with some firms that might work with automotive or healthcare, for example. And it's great to know that if you're a go-to firm and you are dealing specifically with an industry, you're going to get recommended to other people. And if those people contact you and they don't have a great experience, then it's kind of a bit of a waste that you've got those expertise. So
Mm.
it's kind of being an industry expert, if you like, as well.
And I'm assuming that because most of your clients are in the accounting space, that you are experts in talking the accounting language to prospects.
Yeah, so we understand the terminology. We
Okay.
understand, where how important an inquiry might be. Again, if somebody's contacting a firm and they're asking, "Do you specialize in automotive?" No, we don't, but actually we know somebody that does.
Mm.
And I think it's, when you're living and breathing a certain type of call or sector, you just become accustomed to how accountants like to work. We know that it's tax season, or we've just come out of tax season, so
Yeah.
we know that our clients, might be particularly busy. So it's just having that understanding, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I can imagine that this service or something like this service would work really well for accountants and bookkeepers who almost have just they are the service provider, that they are doing the taxes, like you mentioned, during tax season, and they're swamped. And so having something like this that would help them create that good first impression, create the great customer experience, I would almost imagine that alone would separate them from all the other accountants and bookkeepers who don't have something like that in place.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it goes back to being innovative. I was chatting actually with a lady, Lauren Fogelman from Business Success Solutions. We
Mm-hmm.
actually did a podcast last week on future-proofing communications. And it's about having all those different touch points, the live chat, the social media presence, and making all these channels work superbly. So an accountant is brilliant at doing their job. But actually, when it comes to answering the phone and you're distracted from what you're doing best, then the customer might not be getting the best experience, if you like, as they might have done if they've come through to Moneypenny and we'd answered the call and got the call to the straight to the correct place efficiently.
Yeah.
And I think forward-thinking firms are actually passionate about being professional, personalised, really warm and welcoming, and not just good at accounting. And many have built reputation over the years and actually sustained that by consistently delivering a wonderful service. And it's as simple as responding to customer inquiries promptly, being attentive to the customers, and kind of being willing to go the extra mile. And I think some of the common things that a firm gets wrong, and actually again going back to the basic things, providing a telephone number on a website or not even being able to find the number, you ring the number and it goes to voicemail. So 69% of consumers don't actually like to leave a voicemail. So a really easy way to stand out is simply by having your phone answered promptly and beautifully. Also not responding to
Absolutely.
customer inquiries in a timely manner. So having a good SLA on what that looks like, that's great. So here at Moneypenny, we aim to get back to, if anyone inquires within half an hour, we aim to get back to them. And we've set that standard across the board so everyone knows the expectations. So again, whether it's a new inquiry, whether it's a friend, whether it's a supplier calling in, they all should have the same experience.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
another great benefit from outsourcing as well is being able to extend opening hours. So, fast moving world, people want to be available 24/7 or even just the evening and weekends to cover east to west coast. So being able to cater for that as well.
Yeah.
There's lots of talk with hybrid working. If you'd have said to us 3 years ago, you'd have a hybrid working model, I would have said never in a million years, because actually a USP for Moneypenny was that we all were based in the office. Now we're able to scale our business because we do have a hybrid working model that works beautifully. We're all aligned with what that is. So our teams are educated, and we know that when our clients call in, whether or not somebody's working at home or whether they're in their office, they're going to get the same experience. And I think it would be good for accountants to adapt that mentality as well.
Yeah.
And again, that's keeping your employees happy. We know that if your employees are happy, that your clients are happy. It's like
Yeah.
a no-brainer formula, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love what you said. I mean, I completely agree with everything that you said. And one thing that stood out, is that when clients call, and I do think a lot of accountants and bookkeepers sort of gloss over this sometimes. When clients call, especially prospects who are calling you because I heard about you from somebody, a friend or whatnot, and they need, tax service, they need, bookkeeping service, whatever the case may be. They want somebody that they can trust.
Yeah.
And if you have to leave, and I agree with you. I don't remember the last time I left a voicemail, especially on a business call. If you don't pick up, there's there's 10 other accountants they can call. There's 10 other bookkeepers that you can call. The prospect would respond so well if they called and somebody that was friendly and answered all their questions, even if they said, let me have the owner call you back, or let me have the accountant call you back. Just that one gesture of creating this great first impression could be the difference between you having a really good, profitable firm and one where you're constantly struggle to stay afloat.
Yeah, and you could be the type of person that you don't mind if perhaps you get through to someone and they can't specifically help you there and then, but you are going to get that call back, and as long as you
Right.
get that call back, that's wonderful. Everybody's got different personalities, but I think we are human and everybody wants a response.
Yeah.
So, especially millennials, for example, they're much more open to using technology and not actually speaking with somebody. So, as long as their inquiry is dealt with efficiently, they're happy. And actually, there are circumstances where I mentioned before that there is an urgent matter, or you need that empathy, or you've got a really urgent
Right.
question and it's sensitive. So, actually, that might be, for me, I would probably want to make a phone call for that, and I want to feel listened to. I think as well, firms being intuitive and being good listeners as well, and knowing what their customers need. So kind of asking them, surveying them, finding out what makes them tick, what would make them a good firm to work with.
Mm.
And I think knowing what they want before they need it is good as well. And an example of that is during lockdown, we, obviously all saw the increase in businesses using Microsoft Teams for meetings. So
Mm.
as a business, we then started to develop an integration with Teams. So now we are able to transfer calls that come into a business via the Teams platform, but we did that during COVID because we saw the need for it, and because we're always looking at what our customers might need, in the future, and future-proofing what we do. And it's things like, call trends and peak times and extra support, having an offshore or an outsourcing partner that can provide all this information for you. You can predict what your clients might need before they need it.
Mm.
And it shows a good partner, if you like, and it shows that you're knowledgeable and you build that trust, as you mentioned, with your clients.
Yeah.
So the trust thing is just massive, isn't it? Anyone that's paying
Absolutely.
for a service, you want to be able to trust that partner.
Yeah. If you can't do it, your client will find somebody else that will. And
Most
clients
definitely.
and clients respond to people that they know, like, and trust. And I love how you use the word empathetic. In accounting firms, bookkeeping firms that are empathetic, have empathy towards their customers, that really want to show that their clients are their number one priority, people will respond to that. Clients will stay with you for years if you show that you care and like and show empathy toward them, because especially when it comes to financial matters, people want to be heard, like you mentioned, and they want to ensure that they're a priority with your firm. And I think being able to have a phone call that's answered in on the third ring, or having a form on the website answered within 30 minutes, I think that will definitely go a long way.
Yeah, definitely. It's the little things that help you stand out.
Yeah.
We all think of new, it's great to have new ideas and think of all the big shiny things we can do, but actually just answering the phone, being responsive, being empathetic, getting back to customers, it's all such basic stuff, but it's just so
Yeah.
important. And as you said, there are many other firms that, a customer can go to. If you don't answer the phone, you try the next one. But if they have been referred to you because you've had a friend that's used a particular firm for 10 years, your expectations are then really high. And you kind of want that same experience when you contact
Exactly.
them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of competition out there, and I can't reiterate this enough. There's a ton of accounting firms, bookkeeping firms, and to your clients, they don't know the difference between a good accountant and bad one, or a good bookkeeper and bad one. So they're not going to be able to vet you. If in other words, they're not going to call 10 different bookkeepers or 10 different accountants to price shop or whatnot. But if they call you and you give them an exceptional client experience, they're going to probably work with you.
Yeah, definitely. I was chatting with a client at an event actually, and he said, "Oh, do you know, I don't actually know what happens to our main telephone number since COVID." He said, "I think one of us captures the call." And I said, "You're absolutely crazy." I was like, "You need to point that number to us, and we'll just forward the call to you directly or to one of your team." And he couldn't actually understand the concept of it, and thought it would be quite difficult to set up.
Yeah.
And it's really easy, we give you an underlying number, you point the number to us, and then, as you've said, anyone contacting your firm, they get that wonderful service every time.
Wow. Well, we're almost out of time. But Steph, tell us, if somebody listening says, okay, I'm interested, I need help, especially with outsourcing the customer service because I'm so swamped in what I do. Where do they go?
Okay, so I'd be more than happy to have a conversation or one of my team. So you can contact me directly on svj@moneypenny.com. We do offer a trial. So, if you want to put live chat on your website for a couple of weeks or point your telephone number to us, we can trial it, see how it works for you. We work on a consultative basis, so we'll have a full conversation before you divert any of your calls. It's a big thing, put in the hands of your business in somebody else's trust. But we'll have a full conversation with you, and then you can divert and see how it works for you. And a few kind of takeaways, really, I think, is look at what's available and don't be afraid to try new services. Think about what you could do with more time on your hands. A few extra hours a day amounts to hundreds of hours a year. And kind of go back to basics. And everybody wants to be heard. So make sure your customers can reach you when they need you. And we can definitely help you with that.
Excellent. I love that. And I'll put that in the show notes. So SVJ as in Steph Vaughan-Jones at moneypenny.com.
Yeah.
And then we'll put the moneypenny.com website in the show notes as well.
Great.
Steph, thank you so much for being with me today.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show. It's been great.
And to everyone listening or watching, thank you so much for spending the last few minutes with Steph and I as we discussed how to escape the accountant's trap. Bye for now.